This was supposed to be my third self-portrait. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of rossdraws, and today I'll be showing you guys my top 5 digital art mistakes. I've been painting for about 10 or 11 years digitally, and I've made so many mistakes. I've identified them, I've worked on them, and it made my art 100 times better. You might have heard of some of these mistakes from professional artists, people in the industry, which means they are common, and you should definitely pay attention to them. Also, thank you everyone who got a copy of Nima so far. The response has been absolutely incredible. It's been out for a little over a month, and so I'm just so happy that the Nemaverse family is growing. So let's get into it. Top 5 digital art mistakes. So the first digital art mistake that I've made in my career are muddy shadows. You can tell that these, look very dull. They look so lifeless. This was supposed to be my third self-portrait. A lot of people shade with black, and so you can tell that this pigment is really dull. So what you want to do is lighten up and make it more saturated. Ooh, and now it's instantly looking better. Maybe I should repaint this piece before, after.
Much better.
Same goes with any shadows on environments, in vehicles. Usually shadows are more saturated. So next time you paint skin or shadows, make sure that your shadows are lifted and they make your piece feel vibrant.
Understood.
So I found a portrait I painted last year called Crimson, and I purposely dulled the shadows. And so if I were 16 or 17, this is what I thought my portrait would look like. But instead, the actual piece looks like this. Ooh, look at that. This was about the time I started actually learning about concept art and how to paint, draw, color. And one artist I looked at was Zorn. You can see here that the palette looks refreshing, soft but vibrant, and the shadows don't have any black at all in them. The shadows don't look dull. It brings so much life to the piece. One really good example I wanted to bring up was from my mentor, Jamie Jones. He showed us how important your underpainting can be. You can see the number 2 panel here had the underpainting. It's very vibrant and colorful. There's yellows and blues and oranges, and you can see it carried out step by step. You can see it on this leg right here. You can see it on this neck. Even in the shadow parts, there's a bunch of color, like purples and yellows. So this is an amazing example. Kind of reds and oranges, it's very saturated, it looks very beautiful, and he put all this detail on top, but the vibrancy of the red still showed through in the very end. And if you still don't understand underpainting or how to approach it, here's an example. My older videos where I used the hot dog as the base of my painting to create a portrait of Azula. Although the focus wasn't underpainting, a lot of these older rossdraws videos has the same technique, and I used the pigment and colors from the food and people and different textures, and then I added the details on top. And the second digital art mistake is the lack of foundation. This is a very common one, and I am a clear victim of this. Back then, middle school, high school, I thought, I was talented. I can kind of make up everything in my head. I didn't need to study anatomy, color, or anything really. Looking back at these pieces, you can tell that there's a lack of anatomical knowledge here. I don't know about this thing. I think we're gonna censor this. I don't know if this is out of his belly button, but still, it looks very. I had to go back to the basics. I had to learn color and anatomy, and that's when I started training and really drawing from life, doing studies. These are studies from films and popular paintings. Your foundational skill carries through whether you do digital or traditional. I think everything started to click. I consider myself a character designer, and thank God my characters look a lot more anatomically correct as well. Go back to the basics, figure out what you want to improve on, whether it's hands and faces, maybe it's color or carve. Just really focus on improving that, because in the end, painting, all that knowledge will show. Digital art mistake number 3 is avoiding the big picture. I used to just zoom in and work on all these little details. Look at this bone. Look at this amazing bone. And you zoom out, and who cares about that bone? Little windows. I think I put a guy there. You zoom out and don't even care about the guy on his laptop. We get so into our own art, and that's one thing I really had to improve on. Multi-character painting are the hardest because you want to make sure every character is cool and looks great. If you squint, it is so busy. But over time, I focus on painting small and working on the big picture. If you go back to my Master Course series, I made thumbnails really small. It really helped me think about the image as a whole. Oh my gosh, this Smash piece of mine took forever, but I feel like this works way better. I thought about having points of interest like Mega Man's Mega Buster. Next time you work on some of your pieces, make sure you zoom all the way out and we can kind of read it visually, aesthetically pleasing. It looks like nothing, a bunch of nothing, but you go over here, you see Moana, clear as day, focusing on the big picture. And the fourth digital art mistake is overestimating equipment and brushes. I thought the more brushes, the better. Look at this, flower brushes. There is smoke brushes, swirly brushes. You can't even tell what anything is. There's so many languages going on. Back in high school, I thought you needed the best tablet to make the best art. I was wrong because this was painted with a Cintiq. Over time, I realized that it's not about the brushes or equipment. It's about kind of your knowledge and mileage. I found some examples that showed this. For these portraits here, I think I painted this with 3 brushes: an airbrush, a round brush, and a textured brush. I feel like less is more, especially in art, and of course, color touch. For this portrait of Christine, I used my essential brush pack, which is a total of 11 brushes, but I only used 5 or 6 here. And a lot of you commented on the 14-hour workday video, being surprised that I don't always use my Cintiq and instead my Intuos Pro. This further proves the point that you don't always need the most expensive equipment to create your digital art. And the fifth and final digital art mistake is not utilizing your digital tool, not utilizing everything that's available to you. And so I'm gonna show you some of my most favorite ones that I use in almost every one of my paintings. Say you are done with this piece and you're trying to fix the eyes, but you don't wanna repaint the whole entire thing. I love using Liquify. And so Liquify allows me to help tweak proportions, and that way I don't have to repaint. Nice. Before, after. Before, after. I just spent maybe a minute trying to fix the proportions rather than painting the whole thing again. I love experimenting with any tools that are added, and one thing that stuck with me is the Face Aware Liquify. And this helps me kind of tweak the proportions. So say you are done with your painting again, but you want to experiment a little bit, you want to maybe experiment with a smaller head shape. This is a great tool because Photoshop recognizes that this is a face and it maps out the eyes and the nose. Think of it like your own personal character creation screen. So I love using this to experiment with different face proportions. And say maybe that you merged everything together, which you shouldn't do, you should draw them layered. I love using the Magic Wand tool, which selects things that look similar to it. So I'm gonna select this piece of white right here and delete it. Boop. Now I can paint behind it. That's so useful. And the last but not least, I love using color dodge. Yes, there are way more like color burn, burning the midtones, highlights, and shadows, whatever. But color dodge is my most favorite tool. I'm just gonna pop this piece real quick. Ooh, on this nose, on these eyes. Oh my gosh, that's really nice. Hopefully, you guys learned a thing or two to avoid these mistakes in your art journey. I'm gonna grab Milo quick, and I'll see you guys soon. Milo! What do you think, Milo? Are you gonna make these mistakes? Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, Nima's book release, the origin story animation. It's been a crazy month, and I wanted just to make a video, teach you guys a thing or two about mistakes, and hopefully you guys don't make them as well. And next Friday, I'm releasing the official Nima merch. Yes, I've been so excited for this. I've been preparing for this event because I am releasing new pins and new prints, and also, oh my God. You guys might have seen this, but this is The first hoodie, the Nima Galaxy hoodie. I love this design so much. It's so cool. Yeah, it comes out next Friday, so keep your eyes peeled. And thank you everyone for joining the Nemaverse update. It's been a blast so far teaching you guys how I do art. Next month on my Patreon, I'm teaching storytelling, so you can visit patreon.com/rossdraws if you want to learn more. Thank you guys again. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, every day is a color dodge day.